Hey everybody, this is Dean and welcome to Photo Blue. Today I thought I'd discuss Luminar Neo, the version 1.2.0 update. And there are a few cool things in here, and let's start going over them. So the first thing let's talk about is Hdr Merge, which is a plugin. Now this might be a little bit confusing because it is a plugin, so it's an addition to Luminar Neo. So if you just have the base license of Luminar Neo, you actually have to purchase the Hdr Merge in another package. But if you already have a different package, or if you have Luminar X, or if you already had Luminar Aurora HDR, you'll get a copy of this plugin. So it's actually called an extension, not a plugin. But there's this little puzzle piece up here. If we click on this, this is where you install the extensions, and it should appear here if you have it. And you actually have to click to install it. I've already installed it here. It's just a one-click install. They have coming soon. So this is actually another feature in here. I guess they've added the feature to add extensions in here. In Hdr Merge is the first extension. Now it's not as complex as Aurora HDR. If you have that, there's some more features on there. Maybe they'll add a few more features to the plugin itself, but it doesn't have the Aurora has an entire interface and a bunch of things you can do with it. So that's one thing about it. And it looks like they've taken Aurora off of the site now, so they're not offering that as a separate product anymore. My guess is they probably didn't sell a lot of that as a separate project because a lot of photo editors now have some sort of HDR in them. So I guess they've kind of decided to include that in Neo, which is nice. But like I said, doesn't have all the features, at least yet. So if we look up here or over to the right here, you'll see Hdr Merge. That's where the plugin is, and the way you actually use it is we select the photos we want to use for the merge and we drop them in here. You can use up to 10 photos. This button merges it. If we go up here to this button, we can add things like auto align, which you need if you're not using a tripod. If you're using a tripod and you have bracketed shots and they're already aligned up, you may not need to use auto align, although you can use it regardless. If it's handheld, you're probably going to need auto align so that it fixes any problems with the images being lined up. There's also ghost reduction. If you click that on, you can put the reference image and the amount of ghost reduction. What ghost reduction is if you have movement in the picture somewhere, like you have a field or waves, or like a field of grass that's blowing in the wind, or waves, or just anything that's moving. It can cause ghosting images and problems. So to reduce that, or to try to get rid of that, you can use ghost reduction. And the reference image, the reason you give it a reference image is because it will try to take that image and say, okay, this is where the thing that's moving should be positioned, or the way it should look. Right down here is remove all images. That's if you want to get rid of these images. If you want to start all over, say you pick the wrong images, you can just remove them one at a time, but you can also go here and go remove all images, and then you would have to re-drag the images back again. So it takes a while to run an Hdr Merge, and so I've already done that. The pictures that you can see right here, these pictures are only 24 megabytes. We're going to go to Hdr Merge. Here's my examples, and so here's one of the three originals. It's just at regular exposure, and if you look at it, it's 24 megabytes. If we click onto one of the ones that I merged, they are like 136 megabytes because there's more information in the photo. So let's go to the original here and bring it up and just take a look at this. And then if we go to the next one, you can see there's more detail in here and the contrast is better and such. And here's the other one. Now the difference between these two is this one doesn't have or this one is has ghost reduction, and this one doesn't have ghost reduction. And so you can see the waves look a little bit different. They're actually sharper here with the ghost reduction because it's just using one photo, and less sharp here because as it uses multiple photos, it kind of blurs it a bit as it's trying to figure things out. So there's some ghosting. You can't really see it as ghosting here because of the way the waves are, but that's the major difference. So a lot of times if you're doing HDR, you may want to try it with and without ghosting just to see which picture you like better and how it affects the picture. So that's HDR. That's one of the new functions of 1.2.0. Let's go to another function we have. We're going to use this picture here. I got this off of Pixabay, and it's a pretty good demonstration for the next function, which is burn and dodge. And burn and dodge is lightening and darkening areas. Just like in the term comes from in the darkroom, when we used to use film and do prints, we would burn or give more light to an area of an image to burn it in or make it darker, or we would dodge, which we would take something to dodge an area so that there was a shadow on it, so not as much light would get to it. So we can lighten, we can darken, and we can erase. Erase will just erase the effect off of it. Lighten lightens it, and darken darkens it. Let's start with darken. We can change our brush size here like we can on many of the functions of Luminar Neo, and we also have a softness to soften the edge or make it a little harder, and we have the strength, and the strength is how much the effect shows up. So if I take this and I just start burning in here, so we're going to darken this sheep. Like this, and if we look at before, you can see that's where we've burnt it in. The other thing is we can go here to lighten. Say we want to lighten areas of the grass. We can kind of I'm just kind of dabbing it in now, so you can brush it in or you can dab it in however you want to do it. So if we go back to the original image, you can see how we've changed it right here. So this is kind of an exaggeration of probably what you would do in most cases, but it shows you how you can alter the image using dodge and burn. Now erase, if I go to erase, I can take the effect away basically. You can look at it without the effect. So this is without the effect, this is with the effect. So those are the functions of the burn and dodge. So those are the new features of version 1.2.0. I'm Dean, this has been PhotoBlue, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like.